Okay, what you see up on the screen are the basics. And I have some breaking news just in regarding the Tucker police case. I talked to Detective Constable Sam Page of the London, Ontario Police Department. He's in the Financial Fraud Division. Talked to him about an hour and a half recently, and I can share the results of that with you now. And as we should know, the wheels of justice and law grind very slowly. But they do turn, eventually. As most of you know, St. Jude Hospital did its own internal investigation and found the smaller donation receipt for $1,300, but never did find the larger one of $7,050. St. Jude did not have that money. That $7,050 donation remains missing until now. Until now. That's right. The police investigation I'm just talking about involved contacting PayPal. Where is the money? First, let's listen to Tucker, shall we? In his own words, tell us where the money went.
$7,050.
$7,050. Now, I put a pause on that. He's admitting that the money was sent in. Here is the receipt, and he'll go through that for us.
And that's what you guys did. That's what happened. That's what you guys did. Isn't that amazing? I told you that would freak you out. I told you that would freak you out. Rosie, I have no idea.
Now, he later goes on to say, I'll guarantee you someone will benefit from that. This will take place on Friday, February 1st, 2019. Tucker sent in the money, clearly says it, and this is a receipt. He said, I got it today at 10:30. I don't have much doubt about that. So what I'm going to share with you now is what the police found out from PayPal. He actually lied to all of us. He deceived us, and he nearly pulled it off. I have to say, except for the trolls, God bless the trolls, they kept challenging and badgering him. So, I mean, I believed in Tucker at that time. I thought he was being honest, and I took both receipts that he provided to St. Jude and to try to clear his name and to help my friend. Well, it backfired on him big time. The rest was history. St. Jude did their own internal investigation. They found the one receipt for $1,300. We don't know if he really sent in that amount because they don't tell you. But they did get a receipt from him or sent him a receipt. So there was an initial donation of a number or amount that's questionable. The second one was not received. Now, that's a fact. That's the results of their own investigation. And I'll put that up on screen. So $7,050 was missing, and the problems began from there. The St. Jude investigation gave us all they could, but it would take a police investigation to look into PayPal, and that was about to start. It took a long time. Now, you just heard Tucker's claim to have sent in $7,050 through PayPal. We're told nothing different for nearly a full year. Now, so basically, we have a investigation done by St. Jude. They could not find the $7,050, the one that Tucker held up in his video, and that was a done deal. So where is the money? Well, at that point, Tucker came up with a whole other narrative, a brand new story. So he concocted a brand new one, and he and I, for over a month, between mid-January and February, we had increasingly heated discussions about where the donation money was. And he came up with this new story. For the first time in almost a year, Tucker never told us any different. He suddenly says, oh, you know what? That donation didn't go through that day of my live stream. So I sent it in later on, or maybe it was the next day. He said PayPal declined it. And he didn't know why, but he said that I must have sent it the next day or later on the same day. He was very ambiguous about that. I contacted this department up in London, Ontario, because they had jurisdiction, depending upon where he lives, which obviously is Ontario. They unqualified told me that. Concerning the missing money, and here it comes. Tucker's receipt was determined by PayPal and the Ontario police because they were conferring with each other. The one that he held up for $7,050, the one that he said went through, they determined PayPal did with the Ontario police, that this was a fake. That's right, a fraud. Invalid, not real, whatever you want to call it. Counterfeit. He constructed it himself, probably off an old receipt. So the receipt that Tucker held up for all of you to see was not a real PayPal receipt at all. It was fake. So he presented to all of us a fake doctored receipt, and it was meant to do just one thing. He faked the receipt because someone wouldn't go to the trouble to do that, right? For no purpose. Why would he go to the trouble to fake a receipt? Well, we know now why Tucker created a fake receipt. We were being deceived. Would someone who creates a fake receipt later send in the money? Well, I would say, of course not. That was the plan all along, to keep the money. And that was the diversion, the deceit that was involved, a fake receipt. Okay? The counterfeit receipt was done for a purpose, to fool us, to keep the cash in his bank account or in his PayPal, right where it sat from the time the Super Chats came in and the PayPal donations. The important police findings cast doubt now, really, I would say, on the first donation of $1,300. St. Jude won't confirm how much was actually in the donation. It could have been $13, and he added a couple of zeros to it. Might have been $2. We don't know, and they can't tell us because of the law. But the police can find these things out. The police investigation definitively proven now that Tucker's $7,050 receipt from PayPal was a fraud, a fake, a counterfeit receipt, basically. As far as PayPal goes, see what happens next. Follow the money, right? That's what you're supposed to do. What else are the police going to find? Well, time will tell. That's for sure. And PayPal was able to prove his receipt was fake. As fake as he is. Now, well, he's our own little con artist. Now, remember this isn't Stellar's investigation. These are findings that are the conclusion of the London, Ontario Police Fraud Division. It's their investigation, not mine. Once again, Tucker, you lied to every one of us. You tried to deceive us in order to reward yourself with money. That came from very kind, compassionate people who really only wanted to help children with cancer at St. Jude. Sick and dying children who want to live. Let's keep that in mind. Let's never forget that. That's where this money was earmarked. And you, of all people, the person who received 100% free medical care from Canadian taxpayers, that's you. And you want to live too, and I get that. You were given complete care and paid nothing financially for your new heart. Of all the people who should understand compassion and helping anyone get a second chance at life, like children dying of cancer, it should have been you, but not you. Well, these children are fighting for their lives, and they want to live as much as you do, or any of us do, but you denied them that by keeping the donations for yourself. Now that the police department in London, Ontario, and PayPal have weighed in on your claim, we know the truth. We know the receipt you proudly held up in front of all of us in your live stream was invalid, fake, counterfeit. It doesn't matter. It wasn't real. Intended to deceive all of us, and it did for a while. Tucker, I've given conclusive proof based on the London, Ontario police case that you're a liar, you're a thief, and you're a con man. And I will, per usual, provide the police contact information if anyone wants to verify anything that I've said today. Tucker, no one in their right mind after this will see you as a person, in my opinion, as honest, having any integrity or compassion. You certainly won't be mistaken for a person of kindness. That's how I feel about you. People might think I'm being too hard on you, and others maybe think I'm being too easy. And I'm going to tell you something. You might be surprised to hear this, but I do not hate you. But I do hate your deeds and what you did and your actions. And yes, I think everyone has a right to have a second chance, a third chance, or, even you. Have you ever been given a second chance, a third chance, maybe a fourth chance, Tucker? Have you? Well, Tucker, sadly, is this your first criminal offense? Let's take a look. Now, I've got your name covered up here. I don't dox people like you have done to me and Jack Sparrow. I protected your last name before, and I'm doing it now. But this was made public by you, and you left it up for all the world to see for 7 years, and from 2013, as it says there, until this year when you finally took it down. You are habitual, Tucker. Now, every human being does make mistakes. We all do. But you clearly are repeating your past. The police confirmed your criminal past. The social media community needs to be aware of people like you who are a danger to others. I could spend hours going over the sick, twisted things you've done, such as doxing. You launched a fake smear campaign against me and Jack. In fact, doxing our sons. Well, my son is a career military. He's with the Army, a proud West Point graduate, and you put up information about him that he was involved in a domestic violence dispute. That wasn't true. That wasn't my son. But you tried to say it was. Tucker, you are truly a shameful, disgusting person. And your actions speak for themselves. Your veiled threats to blackmail Diane and Randy, to apply pressure to drag me, once again confirm the depths that you will take things. I talked at length with Diane, and she certainly confirmed. Let me just go through a little bit.